Okay, hello everyone. This is Sharonda, and this is my podcast as well as my YouTube channel, Spiritual Sense. In this podcast as well as YouTube channel, I go over topics in regards to the paranormal, occult, and supernatural. And so I'm going to go ahead and dive into the topic for today. Today is October the 4th, which is a Tuesday. And so I'd like to state before I get into the topic that this podcast, as well as this YouTube channel, is for entertainment purposes, okay? So the topic for today is automatic automatic writing. Now I heard of this term for the first time when I was about 12, 13 years old. I had this psychic book. I've always been into the occult, psychics, and mystics and things of that sort. And in the book, it mentioned about automatic writing. And so as I've gotten older, um, I do know what that is, and I have experienced that a couple of times myself. So I know what that is. Okay. And I just basically this whole platform that I started, what, 3 years ago now, is to bring more clarity for those who are interested, particularly my children, so they have an expanded understanding as to what is being conveyed by the spirit. Because ultimately it's spiritual. Automatic writing, also known as psychography, is a practice of tapping into a deep source of wisdom within you outside of conscious awareness, also known as the soul. It mentions that intuitive writing practice is usually done in a trance like or altered state of consciousness. Psychologists and spiritualists have varying beliefs about the origin of automatic writing, with some arguing that it is sourced from the unconscious minds, and others claiming that it originates from supernatural forces such as spirit guides and angels. I personally believe, being that I'm a mystic, a gypsy spiritualist, that it is done by way of the soul. What are the benefits of this practice? Well, it mentions calming and centering effect on the mind and body, gaining direct spiritual guidance from your soul or higher self, more inner clarity and bird's eye view understanding, improve ability to make wise decisions, healing and balance the third eye chakra and throat chakra, increase heart connection. Intuitive abilities are sharpened, honed, and developed. Feeling more supported and deeply understood by life, improve ability to trust your primal gut instincts, understanding what your path and purpose is in this life. So there are many benefits in writing. I think it could be very therapeutic, um, to get your thoughts out, to connect with a different source, and you begin to realize that you are being guided, and you want to reinforce positive and positivity within your life, because you will receive abundance, abundance and knowledge and capability and understanding. You will feel almost supernatural, but don't allow it to get. I think once you have received that awakening, egos is out the door. Egos are tipped out the door. So, automatic writing and spiritual awakening. By way of going through self-realization and meditation and yoga and things of that source, you will begin to undergo a spiritual awakening, is what it mentions here, where you have a spiritual oneness, a connection with divine revelations, guidance, direction, and insight from the soul. Um, you can channel your soul through automatic writing. So basically, the steps in doing so is getting a pen and paper, opening a notebook or Word document, thinking of a question to ask, writing down the question, and relaxing your body and mind, allowing the writing to flow spontaneously. Now, this is apart from, I want to also mention, this is apart from like how we get up and we write and go about our day. No, this is beyond that. You are guided. Like words just can't explain it. You just have to go through it to understand it. This is beyond being in your conscious mind and doing something. This is being guided by a spirit, and you will begin to know the difference. That's the only way I can explain it. Because I can sit here and say the same thing over and over again, but you just have to get that understanding. It's by way of God. Ultimately, it's by way of God. Um, so it mentions that once you get these things, you want to set aside a time and space before starting an automated writing session. It is important that you give yourself as much time as needed to express what needs to be expressed. One of the ways to do this is to flow. It will flow by giving yourself time to, kind of warm up. Um, so just take out some time, just like you take out some time, for dinner or snack or whatever the case may be, and get the spirit's time to present and show up and manifest whatever you want to be put out. It mentions about thinking of a question and how the soul will come through. It says start each session with a clear question and write it down in your journal or Word document. Um, Choose a question that has really been pulling at your heart or eating you up inside. The more emotionally charged the question is, the clearer your response will be. This step is known as setting an intention. Uh, you want to relax your mind, is what it mentions. You do this by meditation, breath work techniques, mindfulness, visualization, aromatherapy, sitting in nature, yoga. Get your mind at ease. Um, and then you'll begin to enter in a trance. Um, a trance-like state is a form of altered consciousness in which your normal thinking brain relaxes. So you're under the guidance of the spirit, ultimately. It is useful in facilitating spontaneous flow of information. Common ways to enter into trance, again, listening to music, yogic or holotropic breathing, mantras, repetitive tasks, guided meditation, self hypnosis, something that's going to soothe you. And oftentimes you'll begin to see how the body responds positively, positively to the calmness of connecting with life and life being. Allow the flow of information. So basically, when you do this, it will begin to flow through you. It will. I tried this when I was younger. Um, However, it did not work. And that's because I had to go through life. I mean, that's been 30 years ago. I had to go through life and go through a lot of things in life in order to receive and be receptive of it. Because when you begin to tap into that other existence, you got to be very careful. It can be very spooky, to say the least. Um, so you want to interpret the information once the spirits has flown through you. You want to begin to interpret the information because oftentimes you will begin to see that it's going to tell you something that is in reference to your personal life. It could be someone that's close by you or whatever the case may be, and you will begin to see that this is God giving you a message somehow. Now, if the person desires to know, don't just go up and infringe on people's happiness or whatever the case may be. No one wants to hear anything startling or dark or anything of the sort, but it could be something very meaningful to them, something positive. Um, so in other words, uh, it's by way of journaling. You may notice that in automatic writing, there may be some mantras, symbols, or even images that may present as such. This is to help with self-reflection, begin to work on the self and building of the self, and that way you can be a positive influence to others. You will begin to know when you are channeling, because it's different than, like how you mind is engaged for a term paper for school or an article for work or whatever the case may be. You would know the difference between if you are doing it by your own understanding or if you're being guided by a spirit. And oftentimes, I mean, you don't. There's nothing that I can say to describe it. You would just know when you are channeling a spirit. That's the only way I can explain it, because the body is engaged in such a manner. You would know that it is a force that is doing so. Um, so let me see if I'm able to pull up some more information in regards to automatic writing. I think this is something that many people do, but they may not refer to it as that. Um, but it is real, and I'm going to go on Wikipedia's definition in reference to automatic writing. Uh, so it mentions that it is a claimed psychic ability allowing a person to produce written words without consciously writing. Scientists and skeptics consider automatic writing to be the result of automatic, I'm sorry, idiomotor effect, and even proponents of automatic writing admit it has been a source of innumerable cases of self-delusion. Automatic writing is not the same thing as free writing. So it's basically, I'm just gonna put it this way. I think we do it more so than people would know. That's what I feel. Um, I have had it to happen several times when you are, it's like being pulled to do something, and it's beyond your control. Of course, we don't want to give a lot of power. We don't want to let a lot of people know that, because oftentimes people would use that as an excuse. So a lot of these things do occur, but you don't want many people to just go around just doing as they will and saying the devil made me do it. Automatic writing is real. It's totally different than when we are in deep thought and we begin to type and write and even, it's different than that. You just have to go through it to understand it. And so this is what I mean when I mention about you don't want to acknowledge those things, because then it would change the face of how we have agreed upon things should be in this logic, science, reality of existence. But it does occur. It does occur. It's a form of channeling spirits, is what that is. And oftentimes you will begin to see that many of the times when you write such things, you are actually tapping into others' thoughts and sensibility. And this is how God works. He will use you as a vessel. And many times when a person is not comfortable with himself or herself and things that they may be, into or not into or whatever, it will make them a little spooked out. Something is weird about this. I can't put what it is. You know, some people may refer to it as mental or demonic, whatever you want to call it, but it is real. A lot of people associate, as it has mentioned here, neurologists and psychologists, they want to give a diagnosis to it because of course, we don't want to what? We don't want that to take presence in our life. We don't want people walking around living in quote unquote fantasy. We want people to stay contained to this reality. We don't want people to um, delve off into the unknown or what we don't consider to be formal or right. So that's basically what that is. If you pay attention, people channel more so than they will know. The spirit channel more so than they will know. Automatic writing is real. I have experienced it. Not too many times, but I have experienced it sometimes. I can't even put a number on it, but it's not too many to call, you know, but it has happened. Could we say this is having a seizure or some type of neurological? No. It could be in certain instances. I do feel as though when there's some changes in the chemistry and within the brain, it will engage us to where we can tap into another existence. But I'm going to say it's more spiritual than you would know. Okay. So I am going to conclude this episode of Spiritual Sense, speaking on automatic writing, what is automatic writing, and that I feel as though we do it more so than we would know. Okay. And so if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you are more than welcome to place comments, questions, or suggestions, or a topic for a future show in the comment section. Until then, you have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.